to Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday to you. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope that you're having a great day. If you're joining us on a replay, welcome to the show as well. And hello to my friends from Modern Mom. Let's start with the market. Let you know how we close. The Dow closed up 210 points in the last day of June today. NASDAQ down just a point, so not terrible. But the S&P up 5 as well. The S&P 500, as you know, now climbed to a record high as we are celebrating the final day of June. This is recorded all over, and people are really watching and really get a sense of what's happening with the financial markets. A lot of concerns still on inflation. We're watching those numbers very closely, but it seems like investors are still optimistic. We still see a lot of interest in buying new stocks, companies going public, and everything in between. So a lot of things happening. And in fact, JP Morgan's Marco Colomet shared today on CNBC that, talking about this Delta variant of COVID-19. Obviously, there's been a lot of concern of this new Delta variant as it pertains to the financial markets. People are wondering whether or not things are going to get back to, where they were previously, but still, analysts such as Marco here saying that, these are things that, although we're concerned about, isn't really trickling into the financial markets just yet. Now, according to a report that came out of CNBC today, also, good first halves of the market usually also translate to a good rest of the year. Well, let's hope they're right. Let's certainly hope that this is true, because we've had now a pretty good first half of 2021. So we'll see. I want to say a quick hello to some of my friends. I see many of you, John and Modern Moms. Great to see you. Crossix Spider, Joshua, great to see you as well. I don't know. It's the last day of that first half of the year. A lot of things happening, right? I think many of us would have guessed that the pandemic would have been behind us at this point, but we're still here, and the financial markets surprisingly seem to be brushing off a lot of these inflation concerns and market concerns and everything in between. It's the last day of June, and can you believe we're already halfway through 2021? My question to you, though, is where has your planning landed? Have you done some planning? Are you in good shape? Well, one thing that may be on your radar as we go into the next week here is July 4th. And you might be, a lot of people feel like they've been pent up. They haven't been able to travel a long time. And AAA, which is the American Automobile Association, as you know, they're the ones that we typically in the past has relied on travel data, says that, well, because of July 4th weekend, traffic is going to be insane. Now, that might not come up as a surprise to you, but what may come of interest to you is if you're going to be traveling this July 4th weekend, what can we expect in terms of traffic? Well, according to AAA and their study that they show that between Thursday, which is tomorrow, until Monday of next week, July 5th, traffic is going to probably expected to almost double. In fact, you might be wondering if you're going to be traveling, maybe to see loved ones, what's going to be the best time to travel? Well, I'll tell you the worst time. AAA is saying the worst time, according to their studies that they've seen, is going to be Thursday, tomorrow, between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock. That's going to be the worst time. And then it's going to be Friday between 4 to 5 o'clock. No surprise there, right? Rush hour traffic after work hours. But believe it or not, some of the best times that you're going to see are actually on July 4th, the day itself. Now, you can expect some high traffic between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. of that day. But aside from that, they said July 4th might actually see some free flow traffic. This is according to AAA and INRIX's data that they're reporting here. So who knows? They said congestion is going to build up again between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So much to think about. And maybe another reason why staying at home maybe not be such a bad idea. But inflation, gutflation. Yes, July 4th is upon us. And another thing to be concerned about on top of traffic is going to be gas prices. Now, we are watching inflation very, very closely. Some of you may have seen me talk about this topic yesterday at the CNBC conference that I spoke at. The concern of inflation and how it relates to individual investors, maybe to your own money, and your concern of whether or not that money is going to be available to you in the future. So we're watching for these triggers, right? We're watching for sort of clues to get a better understanding of when inflation will be relatively reasonable, or should we be more concerned, and more importantly, should we be preparing, right? Well, let's just say that this July 4th weekend, gas prices are at its highest levels in years, up nearly $1 over the last year per gallon. That's a lot, right? Whether you be buying regular gas or premium gas or diesel fuel. In fact, those of you who are watching, I want to invite you to do this. If you've gotten gas in the last week or so, if you have seen your prices increase in your neighborhood, go ahead and just share an emoji with me. I want to see. I just an emoji, maybe even your reaction of gas. I'm curious to see if you've seen it in your neighborhood. I think every neighborhood's a little different, but across the border, saying average out, in most neighborhoods, gas prices have been climbing for the last year. And Americans are heading out, obviously, on the highways for July 4th weekend as more Americans continue to do road travel, because we're in the pandemic. They're saying that these prices, though, although they are high, they're not as high as they were in 2014. Believe it or not, 2014 wasn't that long ago. Gas prices topped over $3.60 per gallon. So right now, they're saying we're paying in like sort of the low $3 and teens. That's the area that we're at currently. But inflation continues, and we're seeing that not only in gas, but also in used cars. And will supply and demand obviously dictate the pricing of vehicles? That's certainly the case for used vehicles, because as we know, one of the things that came out of this pandemic was a lot of people couldn't go back to work safely, right? So you're seeing pent up demand, not only in car manufacturing, but chip manufacturing. So Ford Motor Company has determined that it's actually going to have to cut 6 of its factories in 3 states. That's a lot of employees that are actually not going to be working, because they're saying there's just a shortage of these semiconductor chips. And so without these chips, they can't make vehicles, which is going to probably translate into your used cars being worth more, at least temporarily, which is also probably going to translate to increased prices in car rentals. So if you're traveling, maybe you're going on a trip to Hawaii or whatnot, you're probably going to be up for some sticker shock on that car rental. Seems like temporarily, at least, not going to get much better. But what else is new? Well, this is actually a perfect time. And this is why we want to talk about this, because a lot of times people ask me, like, well, Winnie, what are you talking to your clients about? They talked about this on CNBC's talk yesterday. What are we telling our clients right now? What should we be doing? Well, this is actually the perfect time to organize your finances. Look over your budget, review your spending, right? Your budget worksheet, then look over your financial plan so you can plan for your future. Now, if you haven't completed maxing out on your 401k in your IRA, this is a good time to consider doing so. Now, this is, of course, assuming that you don't have debt, you don't have credit card debt and other costly obligations. But during the summertime, especially now that we're going into kind of deeper summer, take a moment. Summertime is the best time to set up a call with your financial advisor, your accountant, and you want to visit sungroupwp.com to get started. Lots of good information, lots of great resources on that site. Let's have a fun moment, though, won't we? Let's talk about this moment. I'm excited to share this with you. Now, when we're talking about the summer, we're talking about planning, we're talking about financial goals. Sometimes it also means the importance of dreaming a little bit and thinking about what's coming in the future. What are we planning ahead? Well, let me ask you this. What type of home would you live in if you became a billionaire, right? Billionaire with a B. That's a big number. Now, some of you have maybe already reached millionaire status or you're on your way. You know, you've got your savings goals in place. You're making sure that you're putting away, you're putting in the hours at work, you're going towards that. But what if you become a billionaire? Have you thought about this? Have you done a little dreaming? Well, let's talk about this. If you lived in a house and you were a billionaire, what type of house would you live in? Because I want to share this with you because Elon Musk's house is probably something very different than you might have dreamt about. You know, the world's second richest man, Elon Musk, despite a net worth of $166 billion, believe it or not, he lives in a teeny tiny home. So he's saying, you know, he sold most of his California real estate, except for an event house in the Bay Area. I mean, so he can throw his raving parties maybe. But, you know, in his efforts to spend more time making the earth greener via Tesla and really helping people reach space, get to Mars through SpaceX, he's saying, you know what, I don't need much house. And that, if you're looking at right now, this is the house that Elon Musk is living in. I think it's a boxable house. And believe it or not, it came in a box. And he lives now in this boxable small house in Boca Chica, Texas, which is close to SpaceX's development and test site. This is near SpaceX's place. And this house, believe it or not, is just 20 feet by 20 feet. It's foldable. You can rent it. It's literally a box. And this boxable startup is making these modular Insta houses. And, you know, Elon Musk actually shared on a tweet that he thinks this is actually really, really awesome. So this actually set up as a studio apartment. You get one large bedroom. It's partitioned into a living room and a bedroom area, a fully equipped kitchen. I'm just really curious how big this kitchen is. You know, I really like to cook, and I think it would be not enough kitchen. I'd probably be cooking in the kitchen and it would move, like I would have to do my cutting on the bed or something just to make ends meet so we would have enough space. But it also comes with a tub shower. So it's pretty interesting. Elon Musk shared on Twitter that he said it's kind of awesome, I guess. So, you know, let me ask you this. If you become a billionaire, is this the kind of house you'll be living on? Maybe it would be. Maybe this is exactly what you would want to live in now. And those of you who haven't made billionaire status, maybe this is even a house that you could see yourself living in right now. I don't know. Let me know. I would love to see your comments on this. Sadiq is saying a very small house, right? CrossX Fighter is saying, if I became a billionaire, I'd live in a mansion. Well, CrossX Fighters, we want to hear that. I would love to see you become a billionaire. I'd love to see what's in your mansion. Let me ask you this. What would you have in your mansion? I'm really curious. What would this entail? I don't even know. I honestly haven't gone that far, but I think for me, I don't know if I would need that much house. I just feel like that much house, you know, requires a lot of upkeep and all that stuff. And maybe the money would be better used somewhere else. I don't know. But thank you so much, my friends, for watching and supporting our program. Please take a moment to share this show all over social media. As a reminder, you can find full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Be well, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing a really fun episode of In the Loop with my co-host, the one and only Greg Nibbler. See you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.